Hello, and welcome to the DbSchema channel. In this quick tutorial, you will learn how to connect the DbSchema Designer tool to your database. Before we dive into the connection steps, let's quickly highlight some of its main features. Visualize your schema with intuitive diagrams. Collaborate with your team on schema design through Git integration and deploy the schema into multiple databases. Add comments and generate HTML5 documentation for easy sharing. Run SQL queries directly using the built-in SQL editor. Edit and view data with the Relational Data Editor and Query Builder. Now, let's get started with the connection process. First, open the DbSchema application. On the main screen, click Connect to Database. You will see a list of database options here. Select MySQL. If you are connecting for the first time, DbSchema will automatically download the JDBC driver for you. DbSchema offers two connection methods, standard connection and edit manually for database access. You can manually edit the JDBC connection for MySQL, which is particularly useful for connecting to cloud databases. You can copy the connection URL from your Cloud Console and, if needed, adjust it to match your specific setup. For further assistance, click the Help button. Before starting the connection process in DbSchema, ensure the following conditions are met. 1. The MySQL server is running. Verify that the MySQL database is operational and ready to accept connections. To check this, go to the Start menu and type Windows Tools. Open Component Services then. In the left panel, select Services. Scroll through the list and locate MySQL. Ensure that its status shows as running. Another method to start the MySQL server is by using a Docker container. For a simpler process, you can use Docker Desktop, but only after installing Docker and completing its setup. Here's a screenshot of Docker Desktop to help you visualize the setup process for running a MySQL server. For step-by-step guidance, check our official documentation linked in the video description. 2. You will need to make sure that the server's firewall allows traffic on port 3306, which is used for MySQL database connections. You can check this by going to Start, opening Windows Firewall, selecting Advanced Settings, and navigating to Inbound Rules. Back in DbSchema, just insert the database username and password you set up during the MySQL server installation. Optionally, choose a specific database, then click Connect to establish the connection. DbSchema will then reverse engineer your database schema, automatically creating a visual representation of your tables and their relationships. You can also connect remotely from your local computer to another machine. To do this, enter the IP address or host name of the target machine. You can find this IP by running ipconfig/all in the command prompt. Typically, the root username is restricted to connecting only from localhost. To enable remote connections, you'll first need to verify which users are permitted to connect and from which hosts. You can do this by running the following query in the MySQL command line. Now, you have to create a new user allowed to connect from any host. In MySQL, the % symbol is used to allow connections from any host. Back in the DbSchema application, Simply enter the database username and password you just created. Select a database and click Connect. No matter which connection type you choose, once you're connected, DbSchema will automatically reverse engineer your database schema, generating a visual layout of your tables and relationships. Thank you for watching. Be sure to explore our other tutorials to get the most out of your DbSchema experience.